Alright, welcome to a new series on
Second time recording.
Of which we would like to call game comparison.
We're not original.
We're not. Is there another series called game comparison?
No, but it's just like
It's just a.
we can't think of a better name.
Well, it's our type. Hey, if anyone watching this
if you can
knows
come up with a better name
title,
for this series,
we'll use it.
Yeah.
But how we're going to be going through this series, or at least this episode in particular, is by looking further into two games that are pretty similar, such as Call of Duty or Battlefield, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. You get the deal.
Pretty similar.
The Fortnite and PUBG.
Yeah, that's basically the same thing.
We'll be putting them through three main types of comparisons. Chris, if you'll list the first instead of playing with your...
Right, so our first section is going to be graphics, because we'll be looking over the attention to detail or the style of the art game that the game is using.
The second style that we're going to be comparing to is the gameplay. Obviously, in a game like a first-person shooter, a lot will be the same. A lot will be the same, but we will be looking further into the gameplay features, such as type of gear you have and how it's used, and how the gameplay runs.
And what I think is the most important section of a comparison,
Most immersive.
the most immersive. Immersion gaming. It's the story, because most if not all games these days need a good and enticing story, as more and more games are becoming more cinematic than before, like the latest installment of God of War not having any blackouts or phase into other scenes. Also, if the games that we are comparing have an online option, then we will discuss that in this section as well.
Once we have discussed all of these options, we will be able to come to a conclusion on how similar the two games are to one another, to later be scored on a scale of 1 to 10. With 1 being as far from the same as Star Wars The Last Jedi being a good movie, to 10 being that Fortnite and PUBG are the same game.
God. Now, on to the comparison of the day. Up on the table, we will be looking at none other than Call of Duty and Battlefield. This episode would have been an easy similarity if Call of Duty would stick to Modern Warfare, but nope. They had to make us go into the future, with Battlefield being consistent with their games. It's going to be easier to look over the franchise, but Call of Duty, on the other hand, has made many changes in their style by going through different companies making the game and different time lapses.
Yep.
Timelines, sorry.
Time-lapses, timelines.
Yeah, the same thing.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we will still be looking over as much as we can for the time we have. But for today, we'll be looking at the first installments of both games for today's episode, or we'll be here longer than an average podcast episode. So let's get straight into the news!
No.
I said that wrong.
You said that wrong.
Yep.
Wait, because we said it wrong, are we allowed to keep it?
Nope.
Yeah.
Going on to the first point, graphics. From the far ago time of 2003, a game was brought into this world under the name of Call of Duty. This was a game that hit the world by storm and became very popular very quickly. But the main thing that stood out was the graphics of the game, especially this early on in the 3D game world, only coming out 5 years after The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, which was known as one of the first great 3D games, with similar graphics to the N64's GoldenEye game, which came out in August of 1997. But with better controls and easier way to move around than that annoying center stick on the N64 controller.
Your
But
hand has to be getting tired by now.
no. But all things considered, it was one of the better games of its year in terms of graphics, with other games that came out in 2003 being Beyond Good and Evil, Enter the Matrix, and Prince of Persia. Let's look at the other end of the argument, Battlefield. With the first Battlefield game labelled Battlefield 1942, the game was released a year before the first installment of Call of Duty. But for coming out a year earlier, the graphics look very similar, or to me, even better, when it comes to landscapes, open area, and vehicles. And the weaponry doesn't look too far from the first installment of Call of Duty.
Call of Dudes.
Call of Dudes, my dude.
Call of Dudes, my dude.
Yeah.
God.
Of course, back when 3D games were becoming...
Dudettes.
And dudettes, because we're international.
Yes.
No.
And the...
Words. It's not international.
We are international. We can go
Yes,
international.
but that's not the right word.
Look at my middle finger. Hey, shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
look at mine. Mine's too. But that's not the right bloody words.
Hey, do you see your name in the script? No, you don't. Shut up.
I was going to say international, but alright.
When 3D games were becoming more and more popular, a lot of games will have roughly the same graphics, but we have to say that the attention to detail in the vehicle and landscapes, like trees in the mission area in general, but the similarity between the two games are very close to one another when it comes to the graphics. I would only say that the main difference would be the scale of the maps.
Sorry, I do apologise.
Yeah.
Idiot.
It is time to look in the mirror and compare the gameplay. Starting
Staring off into the distance.
Starting off, it is a first-person shooter, so there's going to be many similarities such as moving, aiming, shooting, sprinting, looking, throwing stuff, mini-map and health bar. The main difference I can see is that COD has their mini-map as a compass, and in the bottom left corner, when Battlefield 1942...
We'll get there in a minute.
Do you want to restart the sentence?
The main difference I can see is that COD has their mini-map as a compass and in the bottom left corner. When Battlefield 1942
There you go.
has their mini-map as a square overlook of the surrounding area. Another main difference is that COD shows the weapon change in the top end of the screen, when Battlefield
1914 too. Aww.
shows it in the bottom screen.
You sound like you're on the verge
To
of
be
tears.
honest, it reminds me of when you ask to borrow and when you have to borrow a classmate's homework and you say, "Trust me, it will look completely different," and then you hand in the homework, and then you hand
I
in,
thought you're meant to be the theatre kid.
and then you hand in the exact same work but with a few words changed in different sentences.
You still have like 4 lines.
Okay. It has even gone to the point that both games have objectives list or updates of the match on the left of the screen. The similarities are too much for me to handle.
You done?
In the gameplay aspects, it's uncanny. Funny word! Funny word!
Alright, time to go back to the
Time to die.
person that can read things normally.
God.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Chris will be fine in a minute. Just let him breathe.
Whew.
Call of Duty has 3 main campaigns under the American, British, and Soviet campaign, with both COD and Battlefield taking place in 1942 and going over the course of World War II. The American campaign starts at a training camp for the newly enlisted Parachute Infantry Regiment Private Martin. How COD goes...
You've looked into this, haven't you?
I have. I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah.
How God
God.
goes about this.
We're gonna go to religion now.
I never go into religion. How COD goes about doing things is by completing one mission and then skipping further in time to the next mission. So after completing the training camp in 1942, you'll be shifted to June 6th, 1944 for the next mission. On the other hand, where am I? Battlefield 1942 labels the missions as Operation Blank. They wouldn't say blank, it would be like
It'd be just
something. Yeah.
Operation Bravo.
Such as having the first mission being Operation Battle of the Bulge.
That I see is the 2 story missions throughout the game is that COD has multiple objectives, such as get to the end of the practice course, go to the firing range, test out the explosives, and on and on. When Battlefield, on the other hand, will have one main objective, such as take over the enemy base, and then you would complete that mission.
It'd be great, but he's checking.
Comparing these two games on their campaigns, I would have to say that there aren't too similar to as COD focuses on having a few little objectives on the one main mission. I think the similarity on the campaigns are around 6 out of 10, as most first-person shooters will have the same style of story, but seeing how these two games go about completing the missions is what I'm trying to look at. If you understood that, fair play to you.
Fair play to you. So if we go point by point and list to each other, so there's going to, at the end, there's going to be 6 overall marks. 6 for me, 3 for me, 3 for you, and saying whether they're different or similar. Moving on to the first point, overlooking the graphics. Chris, would you say that they're similar or different?
I'd say they're similar.
Any other thing or just similar?
Because it's a very short time space that they came out between, so the technology in those days couldn't have advanced much further than...
Yeah. Well, I'm going to also say similar, because I have seen an hour of gameplay for each game last night, so I know what they look like.
So I'm tired.
So I'm tired. Well, I am tired, but I wasn't tired when I was writing this script. Well, I was. Now I'm more tired of Sam. Moving on to the second point, gameplay. Chris, similar or different?
Similar.
Anything else, or are you just gonna do what you did last time?
They're both first-person shooters, George. There's not much change between those time spaces.
I will also say similar, because I'm the one that wrote this script, and it's very... what's the word? It's
long.
No, not long. Biased.
Yeah,
I writ this very biased. Lee. And on to the last point, story. First off, I'm going to say it's different.
Yeah.
Because it's gone over different... Well, how Battlefield does this is by going over like the war, when Call of Duty would look a little bit further into the more characteristics of what happened.
More personal lives.
More personalized version. So I'd say they go about differently for the story.
I would say, but Battlefield more works on the war as a whole.
Yeah.
Whereas Call of Duty would more focus on the lives of the lives of whoever you play as.
Because even in Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, they just have the war.
Yeah.
When Call of Duty, they just have this person has betrayed you. You must go. You must kill him.
And that is the same for all the other ones as well.
So miraculously, we have a score of 4 out of 6 for similarity. This is why you don't finish my sentences.
I was meant to say 2 differences.
Oh really?
Yeah.
No.
Carry on. Carry on.
So that's 4 out of 6 on the similarity scale.
And that's 2 out of 6.
2 out of 6 on
the differences.
On the difference scale. So we will have to say that it is very similar between the two games. And that is
our ending conclusion.
Outcome. That is our ending conclusion, that the two games are similar.
Are quite similar.
Well, I guess you could have just looked at the games and just thought, oh yeah, that's similar.
Oh yeah, this reminds me of Battlefield.
Oh yeah, this reminds me.
But we're here to confirm your suspicions.
But we're here to confirm it! We put in the effort that you don't!
That will be the end of this video.
Go on, Chris, add a bit of consistency.
I'm going to put some bit of originality back into this channel.
Cool.
How was your day today?
Yeah,
comment down below.
That's right, how was your day?
George.
Fucking tell.
Fucking tell.
Fucking tell. We'd absolutely appreciate it if you would like, subscribe. It
would help us a lot.
Help us a lot.
Our enthusiasm after today has really gone downhill.
Ruined because of one special person.
Not my fault.
Not
my fault.
Because of a person we will not name.
Hang on. Wait, no. He just said it.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. It was you.
I said I
It was
made a
you.
mistake. I'll admit I made a
So it
mistake.
was your fault.
Yeah, so it was your fault.
What?
It was your fault then.
It was an unknown.
But you
Mistake.
still
That is still a
made
mistake,
the mistake.
Shut up.
Still made the mistake, and you admitted to it.
Fine, but I
on
did it on
camera.
accident. Well, non-recording, not on camera. They
I'm
can't see my
ready to-
fucking face.
It's on a camera.
But they can't see my face. There's no camera.
It's on a camera. Hey, Sam. Done on camera.
Got it.
I just took a picture of Sam.
Got it.
Did you actually?
Yes.
Oh.
So when
Don't put that in the video. It's like, just so it was like on camera. Just have a picture of me turned up because I will check.
yeah, I will. We will see you all.
If you enjoyed this video.
If you enjoyed this video, please stick on. If you didn't,
Yeah.
then please stick on.
That's just
But only-
please.
and then please
Subscribe anyways.
subscribe anyways. And
Confidence booster.
yeah, give us a confidence boost.
And we will see you all in the next video.
In the next video. But special announcement.
Oh, little special announcement.
Yeah, little
after this.
special announcement.
We have a schedule.
We now have we have a
We have a consistent flow of
We
videos.
may have a
coming out.
schedule.
we have a theoretical
We're starting
schedule.
to think about consistency for the channel.
just starting it now.
We're just starting now.
So yeah, how we're going to be doing things, whether it comes out on Tuesday, Wednesday, and whether the other video comes out on like Saturday, Sunday, we are going to be planning on having a gameplay episode coming out on either Tuesday or Wednesday.
and having a podcast
podcast
on the
episode
weekend.
coming out either on Saturday or Sunday.
Yes.
So it would be nice to have a bit of consistency rather than having like no videos coming out for 2 weeks and then having
a
like
strange-
3 videos coming
Yeah.
out in a matter of like 5 hours.
Yeah.
As what I
That's
did.
totally not what we did. the other
It's
day.
completely what I did.
Completely what we did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Um,
exactly what we did.
So we hope that we're able to stick by this.
Yes.
And you will see us in the next podcast episode.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
so
will be coming out one point this week. Which will be coming out this weekend.
this weekend.
This weekend.
So we will see you all
Saturday or Sunday.
for a nice little chat.
Yeah.
Bye.
Laters.
If you have any questions for the podcast,
If you have any questions,
please feel
Please.
free.
do it.